Monterrey 1, Inter 1. Of course, Sergio Ramos scored.
It was lovely.
Of course. If anybody didn't see it, have a guess. Yeah, that's right, a header from a corner.
It wasn't actually that good a header either. Didn't need to be.
It was good enough.
Was good enough.
39 years old, he's wearing the number 93 on his back. Come on. I'll tell you what, I'm all in for the Club World Cup. You got to love it, Peter.
I have been begrudgingly enjoying this tournament. It's like a bizarro World Cup.
I'm into it.
Everything looks a little bit like, copy on a copy kind of Sky Sports broadcast of the Copa America from the 90s. It just feels
also
hot.
There's no pressure, is there?
No.
You don't care who wins.
No.
It's like a summer tournament.
Yeah.
Where you don't really care what happens.
It's like an ant farm. It's watching an ant farm.
Watching it, yeah.
It's very industrious.
It's a glorified Tenant Sixes for those in Scotland.
Oh,
remember
nice.
That.
Okay, right.
Yeah, nice.
That's what it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I also like that Lautaro Martinez scored.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Should have scored another, shouldn't he?
He should have, but.
Still a hangover from that PSG.
you forgive him, though, because you're like, this is the last thing we need after getting absolutely whooped in the Champions League final.
Our manager's even jumped ship to another team in the tournament. Like, he just doesn't want to be associated with us anymore.
Yeah.
And who are we facing now? Oh, yeah, it's Sergio Ramos and his men.
Yeah.
See, Sergio Canales was playing.
Which is that was an amazing surprise. He should have scored as well.
Yeah, that was 25-yarder off the post.
Oh, sure, yeah, let me rephrase that. It was a lovely effort and he was unlucky not to score.
Oi, in the words of I Show Speed to Sergio Aguero, who didn't hit the crossbar on the crossbar challenge.
Yeah.
You've got to make those.
Yeah, I heard that on Monday. And I have to say, the continued emergence of I Show Speed has coincided lovely with my week off. I'm hoping we don't see him again.
Yeah. Oh, we will.
Yeah, we will.
So lovely to see Sergio Canales. For those who remember, he was that teen sensation. He signed for Real Madrid, didn't really play much, and then he was at Betis for a bit, and so on.
Yeah.
But it was Christian Kivu's first match in charge of Inter since succeeding Simone Inzaghi.
Lovely little dry run, isn't it?
It is.
Lovely little dry run.
It's very dry there. Tell you what, it's the driest of all the runs. Yeah. Half the seats were empty in the Rose Bowl. But rest assured, Andy Brassel did his best by putting his feet up to try and get the attendance figures up.
You could just lie down, couldn't you?
Can everyone lie down? So when they take an aerial shot of this...
Yeah, it's like spotting a spare row on a flight, and it's like, yes, I'm having that.
Yeah. Brassel's living it, isn't he? Absolutely living it.
Oh, can you imagine how many trainers he's bringing home?
Oh, I hope he gets detained.
He gets put behind bars.
Yeah, one of the many tragedies of Brexit, though, is of course the pound decreased, and actually, when you go to America, it's not cheap anymore.
Not cheap, no.
When you're earning Andy Brassel fuck you money, it's fine. It doesn't matter. When you earn Jay-Z money like Brassel,
that's true enough. Yeah,
moving the nets to BK.
He turns up, a member of the FIFA delegate, hands him his trainers. They are, Andy, going to need them.
Andy's moving AFC Wimbledon to LA.
Well, it's in their DNA, isn't it? Move around. Ooh.
Nasty one, that.
Come on, let's move on then to another side who play in West London. Chelsea, they beat LAFC the other night. The attendance for this one was just 22,000 inside the 71,000-seater Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. You would think.
You happy with Wimbledon being in West London, are you? Another team who play in West London?
Or South West London.
You know South London. You've
got a W.
You've already said moving their locations in their DNA. Do you want to invite extra flack onto you from all the Wimbledon fans?
I would say it was South West London.
Okay.
Wimbledon.
Okay. Interesting.
Fine. But you said West London. So you want to row back from that or not?
All right, I'll say Chelsea, South West London as well then.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, actually, fuck them. Say what you like about them.
Is LAFC West London?
It's definitely west of London.
What zone is LAFC? It's Oyster go there.
Zone 143.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, LAFC, if you're an LAFC fan, you would think to yourself, I mean, could we not have played this game in Los Angeles?
Well, no, they can't, because the draw is the draw.
Just the draw. Respect the draw.
It's like saying, if you don't get to choose necessarily. I suppose you do get to choose when it's the World Cup and you're a host country, I suppose. I don't think it works logistically, does it? Because the draw has to
respect the CWC, please.
Well, I suppose they got added to the tournament late, though. Maybe that's it. I think that's probably
exactly the good point.
I think that's the reason, because if you're FIFA and you're thinking, the ticket sales haven't been going, then play the teams who are actually in the country in their home stadiums, or at least in their home cities.
I guess it is quite a distance.
Yeah.
The home Yeah, fine, but I mean the whole tournament's fucking bonkers.
It was just an idea for FIFA.
Yeah.
They could have rectified that a little bit more.
They might still do before the end.
Well, who knows?
They might get 41% true capacity.
Could be.
Based on the performance of MLS teams so far, though, I'm not sure they're going to trouble the latter stages anyway.
Perhaps not. The cheapest ticket was about £37 for this game, which was just before kickoff. They were significantly more expensive in the build-up, and then during the game, the tickets were still on sale for £26.
Yeah, it's hubris, isn't it? I mean, it's incredible hubris. And it's got everything you want from a FIFA kind of run operation because it's hubristic, it's too expensive, and it's got Infantino on the record saying how much he likes dynamic pricing.
Yeah,
he's on the thick end of dynamic pricing there, and
he is.
Because they are going to be
fallen foul of his own dynamism.
Mark my words, Peter. This time next week, we will be measuring them in the cents rather than the dollars.
I think so.
He's up in 27. Like you get the feeling that he might not even make that with this performance. I know FIFA wanted a yearly competition to go with the Champions League in UEFA's camp, but this has been an atrocious
Pete,
start.
you can't misunderstand the way that these power grabbers shore up their own power.
Yeah, because so this was down for
He's changed all the rules anyway to get himself get longer.
He because of Blatter's, he sort of showed up Blatter's end, didn't he?
He argued it didn't end up being a full term, so he could serve another one.
Yeah.
But
that's what the Constitution says.
But all you've got to, whenever I think about this stuff and the type of person Infantino is, the one thing that I always remember, and I want you guys to remember in the studio and listening, whenever you think about what the type of person Infantino is, just remember that on that new trophy he's had made, his own name is on it twice.
Nice.
Twice.
His own name is on the trophy twice.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the keyhole?
Yeah, dictionary definition of the word prat.
Yeah, he's a prat.
Infantino. But he's obviously worse than that. Like he's a really kind of nefarious prat.
I'd say so, yeah.
Let's go with that then.
Yeah. Anyway, the game, Chelsea 2, AFC 0. Actually, the first Chelsea goal was really good.
It's a nice one.
Really good quality. I mean, I found that LAFC were so slow. If you bear in mind that they're in the middle of their season, right? I know it's not the standard that compares to the Premier League, but Chelsea have come off the back of a very, very long season, right? Deep in a European competition, which was a bit of a cakewalk, but you still got to play these games. And MLS from the middle of their season, I couldn't believe how slow they looked. Like Chelsea just they didn't really show anything. And so when I say that the first Chelsea goal was great, which it was, lovely through ball to Neto, really nicely timed pass, great run, great composure. And Enzo Fernandez's goal was good as well. I arrived late. He's quite good at doing that now. And trademark kind of run from deep is part of his special move, really. I couldn't help but get away from the feeling that they just weren't up against much.
No, I know what you mean. You felt that LAFC gave Chelsea too much respect, maybe. It's easier said than done, I know, because Chelsea are a superior side.
Hugo Lloris in bins, though.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I got the sense that they sort of approached it sort of saying, well, look, we've seen teams like PSG really down the pace because they can't do it in the heat. I don't know what the heat was in Atlanta, but I imagine it was fucking spicy.
It's going to be hot. It's going to be hot, yeah.
But I think they expected Chelsea to sort of not work quite so hard, but they didn't really need to work all that hard anyway.
Maybe. I mean, the funny thing is, you're right, because, Luis Enrique said about PSG, we couldn't play our proper game. Yet they still looked brilliant.
Yeah,
that's the worrying thing.
Well, I think also in that situation, particularly pertaining to that game, if you dominate possession, it's easier for you. Nothing will make you feel hotter and more tired than running around after the ball all the time.
True enough. Yeah. Old Liam Delap came on.
He did.
He pressed.
It was a good pass.
Got himself an assist for the second goal. But with regard to the whole situation with the lack of fans and the atmosphere and everything, Maresca said, I think the environment was a bit strange.
He's right.
It was. Look, Fernandes still sorted his feet out to get that second goal.
Yes.
To see him through.
And one of a number of Argentinians who have scored at this tournament, Peter. We move on to Boca Juniors 2, Benfica 2.
Oh, this was brilliant.
What a game.
Yeah,
this is what we came for, an eventful match. 3 sendings off, including Ander Herrera, who wasn't even on the pitch.
even the players that were playing for the Portuguese club were Argentinian and doing stuff.
Well, yeah, it was brilliant, wasn't it? Andrea Bellotti, of course, Italian. He was a bit like, right, okay, this is the environment. This is what we've got to do. Sent off for an unbelievably high boot on Costa.
Yeah,
and he seemed a bit surprised at that. And it's like, when you watch the replay, you'll sympathise with the VAR.
Yeah,
that's what you'll do.
First of all, what's the referee looking at? That's what I want to know. Second of all, I love it when players have the temerity to complain about something that's just so obvious. Like, you can't fucking do that. Like, no, it's not a grey area. You can't do that. You can't put your boot studs up that high into someone's head. Just walk off.
Jackie Chan's watching that going, it's a red card.
Roy Keane would have at least had the dignity just to walk straight off.
Exactly.
You know, not wait for VAR.
Don't argue
Don't kick people really high. Don't try and fight a security guard. These are just basics, guys.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. But it was a good game, though. I mean, Boca, of course, well up for this as, the old thing is that, the South American teams want to have a go at the European teams. Yeah, fine. And so they should.
Their fans are amazing.
They are, aren't they? I mean, we saw them on the rides at Universal Studios, go around singing away. They took over a Walmart in Miami before the game. They absolutely love it. As I say, this tournament, what this really needs, and FIFA, if you're listening, right, weave your magic, if you know what I mean. Make sure you get a Boca River game. If we get a Super Classico in this tournament, everyone in America will know about it.
In a Walmart.
For the good or for the bad. Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you something. Infantino better pray that Boca go deep in this tournament because those fans and that team could save the entire thing. I mean, the fans were incredible. The fans, they took over that entire end.
Totally.
They made it sound like a proper game, which is the first time I've seen it in this tournament. The game itself was brilliant.
He wants as many South American teams, particularly Brazil and Argentina, and to face each other.
That's right.
That's what he wants. That's what they should want.
But amazing effort to travel from those fans, particularly in this environment as well, that they're experiencing in the US. Because people might think that there's a lot of Argentinian people in Miami. There actually isn't. It's not really a huge diaspora of Argentinian people in Miami.
Yeah, so and if I was a Latino person, I would not be heading to any events, let's say.
But they're
not worth the fucking chew.
But they're crazy it is for them because they're just crazy for the club. They're so dedicated. The game itself was brilliant. The Boca I was reading about them going into the tournament in a bit of disarray, a lot of drama going on. They just replaced their manager. There's obviously a lot of South American teams are trying to cope with losing their players so early as well, aren't they?
Boca Juniors.
It is, but
but you're right to say it, though.
What you need, this is what I'm trying to say. It's a brand new tournament to all intents and purposes. You guys covered it on Monday. Yes, there was a precursor to it, but this is a brand new tournament. To make it authentic, to make it successful, you need narratives and stories and things. You can't just chuck a load of teams together, watch them play out shit tepid 0-0s or 1-0s at the end of a long season for most of them, and then go, isn't this a great tournament? You need people to buy in, and Boca look like they're buying in. Right?
Yeah,
and so if they go deep, it could be a story. And then all of a sudden, in years to come, do you remember Boca? It becomes a thing. Infantino should be, he probably doesn't pray, he probably just, as you've already alluded to, does a bit of FIFA magic, quote unquote, but he needs to find a way to keep them in this tournament. I'm telling you that.
Yeah, sitting in his pentagram. I would say, this is a chance. Historically, this competition has been quite interesting for that part of the world because every decent player is on a pre-contract with Real Madrid at 16 and they're out of there. This is a chance to sort of go, we've still got some fucking players.
Yeah.
And you can have them too if you want.
Absolutely right. Well, but you say about the fans, those fans, right? These types of fans exist everywhere in the world, but to the nth degree there, if you're not trying, they'll bloody well let you know. Yeah. And so they're going to go full pelt, and it's going to be very, very interesting.
It was lovely to see Nicolas Otamendi, a fellow Argentinian, shithousing to win a penalty as well against Boca.
Yeah, giving it a big one.
Then turning up with the header of the tournament so far as well.
He enjoyed that. He did enjoy it.
You got Angel Di Maria, who's going back to Argentina after this tournament. Scoring the penalty. There's so much narrative in the game, and then Nicola Figal got sent off with one of the most Argentinian challenges you'll ever see.
Absolutely,
which is lovely to see.
Yeah,
and also I'll tell you, right
here we go.
No one said anything about this, and I need a stewards inquiry. Yeah. I need us on the socials to share this footage.
Yes.
I need you guys to tell me your thoughts. When the referee sent off Nicola Figal, I am pretty sure when he pulled the red card out,
there was another card.
I think it was a dollar bill.
No way.
I think.
Was he going to make it rain?
I thought he accidentally kept some money in his pocket.
No, I think it was
a credit card. It wasn't a yellow card. Definitely not.
FIFA card.
What, ID card?
No, rules of the game.
Open the doors. security.
A joker.
I thought it was maybe like to make notes on, because obviously on the back of the red and yellows normally they would write the names and stuff. I thought it was just a general kind of little notebook.
A general
I'm putting out
a dollar bill.
I think it's a Benjamin. That's a $100 bill.
That's outrageous. I think it's a Washington.
He said he'd been given a $100 bill before the match. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that.
Right,
I'm just
okay.
saying
Well,
I
that
think
you are.
if it is a dollar bill or of any denomination, it might well be that he's just done a standard admin thing where he's like got his pockets changed into his shorts, put stuff in his pocket.
It was weird to see that.
I thought that. No one's. I've not.
$1 bill with Gianni Infantino on the front.
Whoa.
It's a FIFA dollar.
A FIFA dollar.
Yeah, it's
a foot coin.
Blimey. One thing we can all agree, it's not a pound note.
No, it wasn't a pound note.
It wasn't a pound note.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Have you seen, Marcus, that today's match between Real Madrid and Al Hilal is expected to be played with temperatures at 32 degrees Celsius with humidity at 70%?
Yeah, I mean
that
bollocks to that.
I mean, 70%.
I'll tell you what, though. Real Madrid not going to. The heat's going to hit them, and big Alexander Mitrovic's going to hit them hard.
Let me tell you something.
Mitrovic is going to do them.
It's great. It'll be great to see him. But the whole where's the game? Where's the game being played?
Oh, where is it being played?
Because what I would say is that
70%.
I don't think this is said enough. Is that the whole of Florida is basically a reclaimed swamp.
Yes.
Right. So if you're going to have games in Miami, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. It's crazy planning, but then the thing is, they don't really. I mean, FIFA obviously don't care, do they? Because it's the only window they could do it. Mm-hmm. They have to do it in the US because of the reasons you guys talked about on Monday. You know, precursor to the World Cup and the link with the Confederations Cup and all that type of stuff. And ultimately, because of the fan base, because of how passionate people are. The diaspora and stuff like that, they're always going to do stuff in Florida, and then you've got the whole Messi thing as well. Yeah, so it's
the Hard Rock Stadium.
It's the price of doing business, but the people paying the price are the players.
Well,
and the fans.
Have you seen that bit? This very controversial bit in the film Abyss, James Cameron's Abyss.
Yeah, I know the film.
Where they put a rat in a fluorocarbon.
Yeah.
So like a kind of oxygenated kind of liquid, basically. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple of people in history who have managed to breathe under liquid. Do you know what I mean? Like where they've ingested in their lungs fluorocarbons. It takes a long time for the body to kind of adjust, but they effectively breathe underwater. Mm-hmm. Let's train that up for next year's World Cup.
Yeah, I knew where you're going with that, and I like it.
Get fluorocarbons in our lungs.
An Atlantis World Cup.
Yes. No. So apparently the sweet spot is a little bit of fluorocarbon
sweet spot.
in the bottom of your lungs, and the rest is air.
Right.
And just enjoy yourself that way, and you will just be prepared.
Survive?
The rat.
So therefore, we should start Trent Alexander-Arnold.
It's controversial because the rat panics and thinks it's drowning, and then suddenly it starts to breathe. It's a horrible scene. So that's why it keeps getting cut out of rebroadcasts.
I didn't expect to have to say this coming into work today.
Don't drown a rat.
But those listeners out there who are a bit young, maybe a bit impressionable, please don't put any fluid in your lungs.
Don't put fluid unless it's a fluorocarbon.
Yeah.
To be fair, the one man who's very famous, like a Navy researcher who put fluorocarbons in his lungs, he said, "I'm the only man who's ever, breathed underwater effectively," but he did get really ill afterwards.
Yeah, and you will.
You happy with this?
No.
Yeah.
So again, I would defer to Luke on that.
70% humidity.
I would say if you can forget all of that as immediately as possible.
Yeah, particularly in terms of as it pertains to medical advice.
Absolutely right.
That's the key part.
Peter, I do want your thoughts on this though. Did you see that Cristiano Ronaldo has sent a signed Portugal shirt to Donald Trump, and on it Ronaldo wrote, "To President Donald J. Trump, playing for peace."
Yeah. I mean, he might be playing for peace, but Donald Trump seems to be unable to control anyone in his life.
I tell you what, though, he's got some good shirts. He's got the Portugal one now. Obviously, got the Brazil one from Bolsonaro.
Right, takeaway. That's the takeaway, is it?
Did King Charles give him one from each UK nation?
He'll have a hungry shirt.
I love the idea. That,
big time.
I love the idea that all the real football heads, the Mundial types, the Cult Zeros types are going to start respecting Trump because of his collection.
Collection.
He's got an original 82 Socrates.
How did he get a Dutch 88 shirt?
He's got it behind glass.
Oh dear. Well, now something much more controversial has been going on. FIFA have been criticised for appearing to drop anti-discrimination and anti-racism messaging at the Club World Cup. Now, this is just speculation, but the executive director of football's anti-discrimination body, FAIR, believes FIFA don't want to promote the messages in case it upsets President Donald Trump.
No more kings, you dirty little FIFA freaks.
Yeah.
Just that.
Yeah.
I mean, it just proves that it was only lip service to start with, and now those lips are covered in makeup.
But also, you've got to remember that Trump has passed down executive orders against the kind of inclusion of DEI in private businesses and all that kind of stuff, and the public sector as well, I think. So it's funny, like FIFA normally act entirely like they're their own kind of domain, don't they? Yeah. They demand to be exempt from tax and all this kind of stuff, and don't play by the rules. But I think maybe they found a kindred spirit in
but it's like
the giant orange prick.
But it's like you guys were saying on the mailbag, there are fewer and fewer places to put on these tournaments, and so they kind of have to do the things they're doing with Donald Trump. Because
it does feel like that. It does feel like the only place that's going to be hosting these things now are just like massive, like corrupt autocracies.
Yeah. Mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Right, coming up after this, Gareth Southgate is interested in a new job.
Ratgate.
Well, here's a good one for you. I just learned the other day. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Life is not a waste of time, and time is not a waste of life. So let's stop wasting time, get wasted, and have the time of our lives.
Well, back to Football Ramble, everybody. Something we can all get behind now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like listening to the great Stoic philosophers.
Yeah. he won't be invited to perform at the Saudi World Cup.
Why not? Yeah, it's all right.
Drinking.
Yeah,
he's just talking about it. He loves the culture.
You're telling me that Pitbull's not going to shake people down for loads of money to rework all his songs to remove all the mentions of alcohol in them?
Okay.
Of course he will.
He'll have to drop that message.
He probably will.
Which I'm sure for cash he will.
Yeah.
Right. Fluminense 0, Borussia Dortmund 0.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Jobe Bellingham came off the bench to make his debut for Borussia Dortmund. Kebab. That's what we like to see. That's what we're here for.
There's always a little bit, even in these games that are absolutely shit and a waste of time that no one wants to watch, there's always a little bit of seasoning, isn't there? Jobe Bellingham, Thiago Silva.
40-year-old Thiago Silva. He was good. Another clean sheet.
He's played 1,375 professional games.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely wild.
Not even the oldest man on the pitch.
Who was that?
Fluminense's goalkeeper,
yes.
Fabio, 44.
Yeah.
Both
He looks great for 44, by the way.
Magnificent for 44.
Yeah.
And a clean sheet.
Same age as me.
Come on.
Really? I'll look into the camera now.
I think you look great, by the way.
You tell me, thank you very much, but tell me who looks better, me or him.
I think it's a different look.
But we must both keep our tops on.
We mustn't.
Unless together, I'd like to.
No, I'd love to spend a bit of time with the Fluminense keeper. I'm happy to do that. No problem.
Just taking shots
Just
at him?
two middle-aged lads.
I'll take shots.
Yeah.
See if you can save this one.
Two middle-aged lads talking about decorating.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, it's enjoyable. Elsewhere in Group F, Mamelodi Sundowns beat Ulsan 1-0.
Ulsan HD, if you don't mind. Let's keep their name that sounds like a TV channel.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, good win for the Sundowns, for obviously the team from South Africa. The attendance was just shy of 3,500.
This was an astonishingly poor game.
That is the attendance was just above Yeovil Town's average attendance in the National League.
Don't have a go at them.
I'm just saying. I'm saying that the National League has got a fair few people who go and watch it.
The winning goal very nearly just didn't bother itself to go in.
It's a great win though for Sundowns. I mean, they're on the march. These are the games you got to win. Because Fluminense and Borussia Dortmund are the teams to beat in this.
They are, absolutely.
You know?
I've not seen anything from either of those teams suggest they'll trouble either of those teams.
Well, let's give them a bit of credit, shall we?
It's a great win. I'm disappointed for
3
Ulsan.
points and a clean sheet.
I wanted Ulsan HD to be my team this tournament.
Well,
I like the name. I like the kit.
It's a lovely town.
Lovely kit
Near
as well.
Busan.
Have you been there?
Been through it anyway.
What's it known for?
Been near Busan.
Okay, right.
You love the old Busan.
Busan, yeah.
Ulsan might be the Hyundai team, are they? Traditionally?
Right, okay.
And so that's where they came out of, I think.
They're all
same way you
kind
got
of
the
work teams,
Hence
aren't they?
HD.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you see it all.
Urawa from
Yes.
River. They were playing River, weren't they?
Oh, the old Red Diamonds.
The old Red Diamonds. 3 headers in that game, and they're not even. Urawa doesn't even technically exist anymore.
Oh, right.
That's sad, isn't it?
That is sad.
They've been incorporated into a larger, just outside Tokyo city.
Oh, they've been swallowed up.
Yeah.
Like
Saitama.
like Westbury-on-Trim in Bristol.
Exactly.
Yeah, similar.
Right.
They're very, very similar indeed.
Yeah.
Well, that's that for the Club World Cup, everybody. Please don't turn off, though. We can talk about some other footballing issues. I know that's what you came for. A quick mention for the under-19s European Championships. England were on the brink of quite a humiliating elimination, frankly. They were 5-1 down to Germany in the second half, but they pulled it back to 5-5. Scored 4 goals in about 15 minutes. But the odd thing about... So it was an amazing comeback.
Yeah.
The odd thing about that one is they got the equaliser on the 63rd minute, and then there were no more goals. And you're thinking, surely you push on.
Yeah,
I think it's one of those ones where you kind of do it and then you go, right, now we've got something to lose.
Let it slip.
Let this,
They also went a goal up in that game, England.
Yeah,
they were 1-0 up.
It's an odd game.
Very odd.
But
a very disciplined end to this match.
Very disciplined.
I'm not sure young people should be trusted in playing football based on what I've seen.
No, what a mess.
Very untrustworthy game.
Well,
feast and famine.
They need to get a result against the Dutch, who are top of that group. So
tough group, by the way.
It is a tough group, but it's tough going. European Championships. It's not the Club World Cup, mate.
No, it's true.
There's no gimmies.
Not here for a holiday. With no one watching. There was no one watching, to be fair.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
But it's a fine tournament though, and I'm glad it exists. And may it continue. Now, how about this then? Speaking of European things, Gareth Southgate has reportedly offered himself to Poland as their new manager. The now former manager, Michal Probiec, resigned as manager on Thursday after a spat with Robert Lewandowski. You're not winning that spat, are you? No. You're just not, are you?
The only thing you can do possibly in that situation is just wait him out to retire, but even then you're not going to get away with it.
You're going to be... Yeah. Apparently, Southgate has personally expressed his desire to take over the position.
Swapping the Cumberland for the Kielbasa.
Yes.
Very nice.
Wow.
Pete. Yeah. What do you think about this, Petey?
I mean, I just didn't see him going back into international management. I genuinely thought he was going to go for a club side, but maybe just no one's that interested in him.
I don't think he should ever work again. Hey, what's he doing?
Yeah.
Does he care about this country or not? Does he care about this nation?
I mean, I
imagine if he turns out first game in a waistcoat.
Yeah.
Fuming.
Oh, it'll test me. It will test me. I'll tell you something. He wins the next Euros with Poland. I'm like, for goodness sake.
There's a chance. I mean, there's a reasonable chance. No, listen. Let me say there is a chance.
You'd see him in a friendly, wouldn't you?
That he could knock out England.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yes, of course there is. On a penalty shootout, Gareth. Come on.
Yeah.
I would say
for king and country, Gareth.
I would say that under 21s did lose 4-1 last night. So,
he's not going to be taken over the under 21s, is he, Peter?
Well, that's the developmental squad, isn't it?
That's Lee Carsley.
That's Lee Carsley. That's the Polish Lee Carsley.
Yeah. I find this intriguing. With Southgate, there was always a talk about club management. I couldn't see him doing that, to be honest.
Right.
I think he'd been so long in international management.
Because big Davy Brailsford, what did David Cartledge call him?
Go on.
A weird little cycling freak.
Yeah,
Dave Brailsford mentioned that United might be interested in Southgate, and everyone lost their collective minds, didn't they?
Yeah.
But that, I mean, has he been credibly linked with any other club side?
I don't think so. But I think with Southgate, I think to just be a sort of a technical director or an ambassador and all those kind of roles. I think clearly he wants to get back into some sort of managerial position. And international management, I think, probably would suit him. So where do you go? Do you do the old Steve McLaren, who we're going to mention him later?
Also, you've got to remember that Stevie Holland has recently been sacked by Yokohama Marinos, hasn't he?
Right, okay.
After, I think...
it wasn't long there.
It wasn't long there at all, no. So maybe the gang
Another word of warning. Get the gang back together,
yeah.
and then we should all get behind Poland. They play in white, so it's all there for us.
Is this all just all...
Matty Cash involved? There you are.
Yeah.
It's just all about keeping Lewandowski happy. Is that kind of why this is all?
I suppose it's part of it. Yeah, I think it's part of it. But also, Marcus is saying to us that we're struggling with Thomas Tuchel at the moment. I'm pleased. Looking back at it, I'm pleased I wasn't on the shows when England played recently because I would have embarrassed myself. But it's bad, and Marcus is tempting us by saying Gareth Southgate might go to Poland. They play in white, and Matty Cash plays for them. How close are you to crossing over following Gareth?
It's methadone, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
following Gareth.
It's just getting us off our national team.
I love it if it happened. A load of English people went over to Poland and became builders.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh dear, a little bit like a Wiedersehen pet, wouldn't it?
It would,
just a little though.
Yeah, but would you feel sad if it happens?
No, I'd be pleased for gorgeous Gareth and Poland would be my second team. Sorry, Ghana, but they would become my second. Ghana would be edged down to third. Because
regardless of what's happened with Tuchel, the Southgate thing came to the end of the cycle anyway, right? So he's going to move on whatever happens. He's got to work somewhere.
If he does really, imagine if he turns them into this attacking force and everyone's like, what? And they're just hammering
knocking it about.
Get him back. Get him back.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love that. I'd love that.
Atomic kitten on EasyJet flights out there. Lovely.
Oh, yeah.
Translated into Polish, though.
Mm-hmm.
If you had bothered yourself, you could have done a Atomic Kitten Hole again in Polish for the show today.
If you'd have bothered yourself.
I was already Googling Hall, but it didn't really rhyme with Hall, so Cali.
Just do the you can feel.
Pete just said he's Googling Hole. I want to move on.
Yeah, you can make me.
Cały.
Oh, that's not how I thought that was pronounced.
There you go.
Sour.
Mary doesn't translate, but you can probably think of another song, couldn't they?
Quite possibly. I mentioned Steve McLaren moments earlier. Well, his Jamaica side are in the Gold Cup. They lost to Guatemala, though, 1-0, sadly. But something positive happened in the game. Michail Antonio took to the field. He came on for the last 5 minutes as a sub. And wonderful to see him back. First time he's taken to the field, to the pitch, since that terrible car crash that he had. So
it's an astonishing
amazing
recovery.
It really is.
That was just yesterday when he did that.
Yeah. It wasn't yesterday.
No,
that'd be crazy, wouldn't it?
That would be.
There's no way he's doing that.
You sort of diminished the recovery there. It was a great recovery, and I thought it was happening in a short period. You're like, well,
suddenly he's Wolverine.
3 weeks back on. Back on, Mikel.
I've got a feeling that Stevie Mac, I don't know if he's ever going to come back.
No, that's him.
You know, back in the day, you saw those people who managed international sides, obscure ones for like 20 years.
Yeah.
I reckon Stevie Mac could do that.
Yeah.
I think so.
Probably not 20 years because he's 64. But I reckon he might stay there for a wee while. Good on him.
Yeah, he'll do the rounds now. And as you say, good on him. That's what I maybe thought Southgate would do, but I think Southgate's like, no, colder climes. You can't have a waistcoat in the Caribbean.
You can if you have nothing underneath it.
Ooh.
Like Johnny Westwood.
There you're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, Antonio's West Ham contract will run out on the 30th of June. And West Ham have said goodbye to a number of players, of course, whose contracts have come to an end.
Big turnover, yeah.
But because of his unique situation, no formal decision has been made because apparently they're waiting for the right and appropriate time, which basically means when he comes back.
Which basically
you don't fire someone when they're injured.
Yeah.
Presumably within the next 12 days, so he's not out of work. Because of a broken leg. So he's 35 years old. The man's got a family.
Exactly.
We'll do it at the right and appropriate time. Yeah. My contract ends next week. Yeah. So when's it happening?
We're going to announce it after I'll be already gone.
It'd be a lovely little kind of, I don't know, like Leeds or Sunderland having like a little home for perennially injured. Not obviously Antonio broke his leg, but like fairly injury-prone strikers. Him, Callum Wilson up top.
He's not. I don't think he's injury-prone.
They relied on him a lot.
It wasn't even the first time he crashed his car.
I know he's very crashy, but
he's very crashy.
The very the kind of striker is that they rely on him quite a lot, and his injury record hasn't been amazing because he's quite old. But Callum Wilson and Michail Antonio up top. Come on, you having that? Proper old school football.
Peter, I am having that.
Yeah,
I am.
Can we have that? Let's have it.
Let's have it. All right, coming up after this, another oldie in the game. Carl Walker spends more than £100 on some crispy duck.
Come on.
Now then, back to the Club World Cup. Don't worry.
You said it was over. You said the last part, but don't worry, we've done that now.
It's like I've fallen out of a dream and ended up in another one.
Exactly. Sexy dream.
Sexy dream. I've woken up and then sort of gone back to sleep and I'm in the same bloody dream again.
If Pep Guardiola was in a sexy dream of yours, what would you do to him? Yeah, I know what I've done here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
It's Pete's...
Shine his baldy bonds. He's...
Pete's on record as saying, I think you'd shave off all his pubes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but you've already said on record that every time you realise you're dreaming a lucid dream, all you try and do is have sex with the nearest person.
Correct. Yeah, that sounds more problematic than it is.
There's your answer.
There you are.
It's actually quite romantic when I do it.
It's not problematic in your own subconscious, is it?
No, it's actually quite romantic when I do it.
There are still laws in my dreams. I don't
think there are.
Yeah. Oh, I can float. Laws of physics don't exist.
Yeah. Well saved. Well saved.
Pep Guardiola is in a video game.
All right. Is it you shaving his balls?
No, it's Funko Pops. They're in a Funko Fusion.
I don't know.
Video game.
I don't know.
Today I got a mail shot about it. All of the Man City players, or some of the Man City players, Phil Foden, etc., are in like a shooting.
Hang on. So presumably he's already in the FIFA games or EA Sports, whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, I guess he is. Yeah, but he
this is
have
out
a
of
massive
context.
head. Yeah,
what kind of game is this then?
It's kind of like it's a little bit Minecrafty, little bit Fortnite-y, I think.
Oh right, so
and Pep Guardiola is this adorable little bald creature, and he runs around shooting footballs around. Yes, it's Pep. It's an officially licensed Manchester City Funko Fusion.
Look at this. Listen to this. They've got permission for the intellectual property. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia page now for Back to the Future, The Office, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Jaws, Jurassic Park.
Blimey.
It's like a metaverse kind of...
Colonel Sanders. KFC, he's in there somehow.
I think this is. I haven't played a computer game since about 2002.
Don't call it a computer game.
I
think the big game is contracts. Like imagine how many contracts.
But Man City, I mentioned this, so maybe
it drops today apparently 1 p.m. Right. So I'm breaking embargo. I don't give a shit.
Who cares about an embargo for that?
For Funko Fusion.
Yeah. Who cares about an embargo for a video game where you're shaving Guardiola's balls?
There's no ball shaving. He just runs around throwing footballs around.
Would you use Manscaped if you were doing it?
Oh, yeah. Well, it depends on if they're paying.
True, yeah.
Otherwise, I just use clippers.
Marcus, you started this, mate. Don't look at me like that. You started this. You asked what Pete Donaldson had dreamed.
I didn't think you'd get involved.
Wow. Can't leave him hanging, can I?
Hanging?
Like Pep's shaved bollocks.
Yeah.
Manchester City versus Wydad Casablanca.
Wydad?
Yeah, exactly.
Why?
Apparently, Wydad, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, is an Arabic word that means love.
Love Casablanca.
Love
Great
Casablanca.
name.
Yeah, originally founded as a water polo club.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give an offside.
No.
That's not a league singer or something.
I've fucked that up, haven't I?
Yeah, you have.
That's gone with a win.
And I'm not going to let you get.
What's
you get it back.
Casablanca?
It's a city.
He's looking at you, kid.
Yeah, but I don't think that actually happens in Casablanca. I think that's a myth.
Oh, crying out loud.
Anyway.
Well, they also compete in a number of different sports, including fencing, rugby, and futsal.
Yeah, but lots of clubs around the world are sports clubs, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which makes it sound like a big leisure centre.
It does.
But it's
and
not.
they're one of them.
It's an important Moroccan-based
Do we think
football club.
they're going to have enough to show some decent opposition to a Jack Grealish-less Man City?
Well, I don't know. The question is whether Rodri will be playing.
I think he will, actually. I heard he would be playing.
The BBC journalist Shamoun Hafez was asked whether he thought Rodri would likely to play, because obviously he's been sort of covering this. And he said, Hafez said, I was quite close up to Rodri the other day, and he looks in incredible shape. His biceps were bulging out from his vest, and he looked in good spirits.
To which someone,
all right, mate.
Got it away, mate.
To which someone
Stand further back.
should have immediately said he's had a knee injury. Nothing to do with his biceps.
Yeah. Well,
You can't run on your biceps, or maybe that will be the thing that Pep Guardiola is doing this season.
There's no.
We're all running on our
I
hands.
want to know what his thighs are, because apparently, lads, it's a thigh guy summer.
Is it right?
Thigh guys. I'm a thigh guy.
My thighs are terrible, really skinny, horrible.
But that is the summer look this summer.
You know what we
Really?
need?
Get your thighs out.
We need a sarcastic guy summer for me to really get involved.
We need
always-
like little circle of piss on your trousers. That's what I need.
Circle of piss summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not pooping for a month, summer.
Yeah.
Hey, my dad is in hospital at the moment. He had an emergency hernia operation, and
Is he all right?
Segue, isn't it?
Peter, I understand the Club World Cup is not everyone's cup of tea, but just to drop this in there,
My dad-
we are covering one of the.
Well, speaking of,
What kind of show is it? It's a fun, entertaining show.
He
Try
dad's
and
in
be funny.
hospital.
My dad's had emergency surgery type show.
he
Is he all right, by the way?
he's fine now. Yeah, he didn't tell me, Mum, that he was going under the knife, and hurriedly wrote some goodbye messages on a Daily Mail.
Fucking Nora.
On the Daily Mail.
Imagine me like having this chunk of an awful newspaper with a lovely
your
letter
dad.
to me and my family.
This is reminiscent of when my
Right.
dad accidentally signed a Valentine's Day card to my mum. All the best, Tim Moore.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Just good planning. But I wasn't saying that.
Nora.
But all yesterday, he was allowed to go home. They cut out a bit of his
hernia.
his bit of his intestine had died, so they had to cut it out and basically
It
reattach
died.
it like a garden hose.
Well,
and he was allowed to go home. But he hadn't pooped yet, and he was as soon as he pooped, he was allowed to go home. So it was like a really shit sort of like action film.
Hey!
That's a poop.
Hear the flush.
But I'm happy.
You can go home.
But I'm happy to report at half time in the Raroheads Boca match. Was it Boca? I got it.
No,
River, sorry.
They don't mind getting mixed
Sorry. River match.
There was a river of shit from your dad's anus.
There's the link.
My dad managed to
Yeah.
pass,
Yeah.
and now he's on his way home today.
Well,
So there
well,
you
it's
go.
great to hear that, and I'm really pleased for your dad, for Stewie. And I would just also say that BBC journalist Shamoun Hafez was at the hospital, and he said I was quite
his
close
biceps.
up. I was quite close up to Stuart Donaldson's anus the other day,
Yeah.
and he looks in incredible shape.
His intestines were bulging.
Yeah, his bowel was bulging out from his vest, and he looks in good spirits. Yeah. So good stuff.
Yeah. What a tribute to Stewie.
Oh, dear.
You know this is partly your fault. The
Yeah.
other stuff. You're supposed to be hosting.
It's-
By starting this podcast.
It's the silly season. This is what the silly season's all about.
is,
My dad's
yeah.
bomb.
It's not all about that. It's also about Jack Grealish.
I don't know if I can bring myself to make a semi-serious comment about
Thigh
Jack
girl
Grealish after
summer.
that.
Napoli interested in him?
Calf girl summer.
Calf girl summer.
Calf
yeah.
girl. No, that's a lovely job.
That is a lovely job.
But the problem is, we get excited about these potential moves. Jack Grealish's minutes have been diminishing
Wages.
year on year. Exactly. And then you think, well,
Wages.
Yeah.
Napoli will go, they'll call up Man City
Yeah.
and they'll say, On paper, we're interested in getting Grealish, but we can afford about 15% of his wages. Are you interested in giving him to us?
I always think with footballers, it's like, I understand you think, oh, well, I'm worth 300 grand a week or whatever. It's like, no, you were. The great one was Wayne Bridge. It's like, no, you got that contract, fair enough, but you're not going to get that again.
Nah.
So if you're offered 50 grand
but
a
then they
week...
just say I'm going to stay here.
Yeah, well, I know.
But I'll tell you...
But that's a shame, because...
Can I ask a more broad question about this? What is happening at Napoli?
Yeah, well,
I read earlier they also want Jadon Sancho.
Serie A champions.
Nice.
Yeah,
They are the champions of Italy.
They are the champions of Italy. They're a great club. I've been to see them. I love them. Great club to watch. All the rest of it. Brilliant. But they're following up winning the league with...
De Bruyne?
McTominay and the other fellow whose name escapes me.
Gilmour?
Yeah, Gilmour.
Well, Gilmour was more on the bench.
Sure, but then they've picked up Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, well, that's all right, isn't it?
It's all great.
Yeah.
I'm just worried for them.
Right. Oh, you're worried about... Well, you're worried about Napoli's finances. You're not the first one to be concerned about that.
The Kvaratskhelia money can't go forever, is all I'm saying.
Oh, can't it?
Depends who you are, I guess. Depends who's doing the accounts.
What? Are you literally questioning the runnings of that club?
Let me put it another way. I'll be fucking delighted for them to sign Grealish and Sancho this summer.
That would be
brilliant.
fantastic.
It'd be brilliant. It would, wouldn't
It'd be good for football.
Yeah.
If not their bank accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or their previous team's bank accounts.
Let's not talk about that. While the microphones are in front of us. Let's save it for Uncut.
Right.
They'll
Okay.
never get us there.
Famously a show without microphones. Talking about. They won't be able to hear it, will they?
Exactly. They won't.
Sit and shout in a room at each other.
Oh dear. Well, Kyle Walker has reportedly agreed to join Everton on a 1-year deal. Fulham also inquired, but he was too pricey.
Too not afford it.
How do you feel about that?
I feel a bit sad that Kenny Tete is going to leave Fulham. I do like old Kenny. I wouldn't have minded to see Walker, but would he get in front of Timothy Castagna?
Well,
Yeah. I think,
might block out the view.
I think it becomes a problem sometimes with that profile of club signing a player like Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
Big reputation. All the fans know who he is. They've seen him in his best years.
Yes.
And if he's not quite at the level they want him at and he's not getting played, the manager can come under a lot of pressure. So I wonder if they dodged a bit of a bullet there.
Yeah,
he's definitely a diminishing force.
Yeah, I think he's younger than Ashley Young, though. So,
Ashley Young hasn't been very good, though, for quite a long time.
He's been all right.
I know, Luke. And, that's what they do. They just get a tiny bit younger at Everton.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. It's about time he linked up with David Moyes.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
That's the
I think
you're
you
the only
threw that
person on
out.
the planet to have that take. Such a random take.
I think you threw that out.
Yeah.
The people around the world just throwing their hands up going, I'm so pleased that finally, after all this, we're going to see Kyle link up with David Moyes.
I mean, presumably, you should have said that in the Antonio chat. Surely that's perfect, isn't it?
Well, if you look at football tactics like I do, I just think you'll find that if you look a bit deeper, then you'll find the real meaning.
I'd love Mikel Antonio to become Everton's battering ram next season.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Very different to Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah. No one's suggesting that's going to happen, by the way. It's just a little flight of fancy.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not, though?
Yeah.
Walker recently spent £105 on crispy duck at a Chinese takeaway, and that is money well spent. I'm an absolute bastard for a bit of duck.
Yeah. I mean, what's remarkable about this story? This is in The Sun, and it's run by a guy called Stephen Moyes, presumably no relation to David Moyes, although he might be. He's the associate news editor at The Sun, and he's got a story here called "Walk the Walk," right? Which doesn't make any sense.
Walk.
I know the journalist doesn't do the headline, but it's still part
Kyle
of it.
Walker? I don't know.
And he's talking about £340 on Chinese takeaway for Kyle Walker, but there's nothing in what I don't like about
How many
this.
people is he buying?
Exactly. There's no mention of that.
Yeah.
And if you were someone who's sent out to get the order because you haven't, I mean, Kyle Walker likes a party.
Yeah.
There's 20 people in your house. It's going to cost that much these days.
He's going to get a salt and chili prawn out.
Yeah, he probably is. No one.
The look in Peter's eye, he's alluding to something else.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not.
What I would just like to say, because you're the Chinese takeaway expert on this show,
Yes,
so I
thank
will vacate the rest of my time.
Pipe down, amateurs.
Just after saying this. This article is implying that Kyle Walker is going to eat £340 worth of Chinese takeaway. He is.
Close season.
He is.
Close season.
What would you rather be doing? getting ready to face a team from Casablanca in the heat of America in the Club World Cup, or
sat in David Boy's office for 140 quid for a Chinese
crispy
food.
duck. I know.
Either way, you need water.
David Boy's only eating the chips.
I'm Team Walker at this. Apparently, though, the owner of the Mandarin House in Macclesfield, where he got it from, said, "I am so happy that football player Carl Andrew Walker ordered Chinese food again. Thanks." He's just Wikipedia'd him, hasn't he?
You know what? It's a good order. I don't mind it. You got a couple of spare ribs options. You got
Marcus, let Pete cook.
Yep.
You've got sweet and sour chicken balls. Not a massive fan, but I mean, you've got.
You sound like Big John here now.
You literally bought 50 sweet and sour chicken balls there.
Do a bosh at the end.
The seaweed, he's gone for 4 portions of seaweed, which is delicious, but let's not forget it's not actually seaweed, it's actually cabbage. And the crispy jelly beef is in there. No, not that many nuts from me. How about a bit of hot and sour soup? How about a little bit of lemon chicken?
Yeah.
Well, how's he remembered that whole order? Let's write that down.
I know.
I think it's fair play to him. I had Chinese recently, and I went for a soup option, and it was very strange because it was a questionable outlet I went to, and
everything in a big soup. I've been punched in the mouth.
Peter, I was about to get tucked into the soup, and suddenly an eyeball popped up.
No way.
Right.
Turned out it was the Peking duck. Thank you for listening to the Football Ramble, part of the Acast Creator Network. Pay your subscribers, don't go anywhere.
Wrote that joke.
Keep listening for Ramble Uncut. And if you're not a Patreon subscriber, sign up to get Ramble Uncut every single Wednesday.
I don't know where it was going.
Head over to patreon.com/Football Ramble now. You can find that joke at the British Museum, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you, Luke Moore.
Cheers.
Thank you, Peter Donaldson.
Luke.
Yes.
We found out what the card is that the referee picked out.
What nomination was the $1 bill?
It wasn't a $1 bill. It was the Virgin of Guadalupe.
Right. It's some kind of religious iconography.
It's Mary. It's Our Lady of Guadalupe, a Catholic title of the Virgin Mary, associated with the reported apparitions of Mary to Juan Diego in Mexico in 1531.
Well, I hope he's not seen apparitions during the game he's refereeing.
It's a very good point.
Shame that, because it would have been good if it was a $1 bill.
It would have been, yeah. But I think we're all glad it wasn't, though. And thank you, Sergio Ramos.